Do something with me right now. Breathe in through your nose. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now breathe out slowly through your mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Feel that? Your heart rate just dropped and your shoulders relaxed a bit. Here's what's interesting. That wasn't simple relaxation you experienced. That was you controlling your nervous system. The exact same technique I used when a colleague blindsided me and embarrassed me one day in front of my coworkers. You know that moment when someone's voice gets sharp or they throw an accusation at you? Your mind goes blank, your heart pounds, and all of a sudden you're stumbling over words you've said 1,000 times before. Then you try a positive affirmation like, I can handle this, but your brain rejects it like it was mental spam. Think positive doesn't work when your biology is screaming danger. Well, if this sounds familiar, then stay tuned, because today I'm giving you the confidence protocol that has helped me out of all kinds of jams over the years. Hi, I'm Will Deek, college professor, martial artist, and I've studied human behavior for over 40 years. And today, we're talking about a protocol that takes only 10 minutes and keeps you centered when conversations turn confrontational. It just takes 2 minutes to reset your nervous system, 3 minutes to install a confidence trigger, and 5 minutes to rehearse staying calm under fire. Simple, right? So, what actually happens inside your brain when someone raises their voice or questions your competence? Your amygdala, that ancient alarm system, is great for detecting danger. The problem is it can't tell the difference between a predator about to take a bite out of your leg and a sharp-tongued supervisor. Both trigger the same biological alarm system. Within milliseconds, your nervous system floods with stress hormones. Your heart rate spikes from maybe 70 beats per minute to well over 120. Your breathing becomes shallow and rapid. Blood flow redirects away from your prefrontal cortex, that's the part responsible for clear, rational thinking, and rushes to your muscles for fight or flight. This is why you suddenly can't remember the main points of your presentation or find yourself getting defensive at a sharp comment when you meant to stay professional. Your brain literally thinks you're under physical attack. Here's where most people miss the mark when handling conflict. They try to think their way out of a biological response. They tell themselves to stay calm or think positive, while their nervous system is screaming, danger, danger, Will Robinson. Yes, I watched Lost in Space in the 60s. That's like trying to reason with a smoke detector while your house is on fire. The mistake isn't having this response. The mistake is not knowing how to work with your biology instead of having it work against you. When your mind thinks you're in danger, it throws your HRV out of whack. Your heart rate variability, or HRV, measures how well your nervous system can shift between stress and calm states. When someone attacks your ideas, your HRV crashes and you lose access to your best thinking. Here's where the science gets practical. Your vagus nerve, that's the longest nerve in your body, acts like a biological brake pedal for your stress response. When you activate it properly, it signals your parasympathetic nervous system to calm down. Your heart rate drops, your breathing deepens, and your prefrontal cortex comes back online. I learned this the hard way when that colleague blindsided and embarrassed me in front of my coworkers. But instead of letting my emotions take over, I used the exact protocol I'm about to teach you. I stayed centered. I addressed the behavior directly, and then I maintained my professional composure. And that was throughout that conversation. It was a win-win for everybody. The difference isn't willpower or positive thinking. It's understanding that confidence under pressure isn't a personality trait. It's a trainable biological skill. When you know how to regulate your nervous system in real time, you can think clearly even when someone's trying to knock you off your game. That's what we're building today. a reliable system that works with your brain's operating system instead of fighting against it. So here's the 10-minute system that keeps you grounded when conversations get heated. Step 1 is nervous system reset using the 4-4-6 breathing. Now, this isn't some kind of meditation fluff. It's basic neuroscience. When you breathe in for 4, hold for 4, and exhale for 6, that longer exhale activates that vagus nerve that we talked about. This triggers your parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest response. That's the biological opposite of the fight or flight response that's trying to take over your mind. Try it right now. Breathe in through your nose for 4 counts. Hold it for 4. Now breathe out slowly through your mouth for 6 seconds. Feel your heart rate slow down. That's your nervous system shifting gears from stress to calm. Do this for 2 full minutes before any difficult conversation. Your cortisol levels drop, your HRV improves, and most importantly, your brain stops scanning for threats and starts looking for solutions. This is one of the most important things I learned in martial arts training. A centered breath equals a centered mind. But breathing alone, that's not enough. Your brain needs physical proof that you're capable and still in control. That's where step 2 comes in, installing your confidence anchor. Now, this technique uses what psychologists call embodied cognition. Your thoughts aren't just happening in your head. They're connected to your entire body. When you change your physiology, you change your mental state. Here's the anchor technique. Take your opposite hand and run it slowly from your armpit all the way down to your fingertips. And then when you reach their little finger, just give it a gentle little pinch. Not hard enough to hurt, just enough to create a unique sensation inside your brain that you'll remember. Now, we're not creating a random gesture here. We're anchoring real confidence experience to this physical touch. Think back to a time when you felt genuinely confident, not some pumped up or fake confidence, a moment when you were genuinely sure of yourself. Maybe it was standing up for someone you cared about. Maybe it was nailing a presentation, or maybe it was when you mastered a skill you'd been working on. Pick a specific moment and really dive into it. What did you see? What sounds were around you? How did your body feel? Now amplify that memory. Make the colors brighter, the sounds clearer, the feeling stronger. This isn't about creating a fantasy. You're accessing the confidence that's already inside you. Your brain recorded that moment perfectly. We're just turning up the volume. And at the peak feeling, when you can really feel that confidence in your body, run your hand down your arm and then pinch your little finger. Hold it for 10 full seconds while you stay in that powerful, confident state. This is neuroplasticity in action. You're creating a neural pathway that's new that connects this physical touch to this confident feeling. With practice, that simple arm stroke and pinch becomes a confidence switch you can flip on anytime and anywhere you need it. The working line that fits conflict situations is simple. I can handle whatever comes up in this conversation. Your brain can accept this because it's about capability, not perfection. It's about process, not outcome. Test your anchor right now. Think about something neutral for a few seconds. Now, run your hand down your arm and then pinch your little finger exactly the same way. Feel that shift? That's your confidence anchor working. Step 3 is mental simulation. This is where most people get it wrong. They think visualization means imagining everything going perfectly. But that's not how professionals do it. Astronauts don't visualize successful launches. They simulate everything that could go wrong and then how they're going to handle it. Athletes don't see themselves winning. They mentally practice recovering from mistakes. This is the difference between visualization and simulation. Visualization is hoping for the best. Simulation is preparing for reality. Picture yourself in that difficult conversation. See the person's face. Hear their voices. They challenge you or raise an accusation. This is where simulation beats wishful thinking. We're going to practice the obstacles too. Feel your initial defensive reaction. Notice your heart rate spike. Simulate your mind wanting to argue back or shut down completely. Now, simulate your recovery using the protocol. See yourself taking that 4-4-6 breath. Feel yourself running your hand down your arm and pinching your little finger. Hear yourself saying calmly, I understand you're frustrated. Help me understand what specific changes would make the biggest difference for you here. Practice the scenario with all of your senses. See yourself staying calm under pressure. Hear your measured professional response. Feel your steady breathing and relaxed shoulders. There was a study with college students that proved how this works. One group visualized getting good grades. The other one, the second group, simulated the process, studying for specific hours, handling distractions, preparing for problems that could come up. The simulation group scored a full letter grade higher than the visualization group. Why? Because simulation makes you think through the process and the problems you might experience. Now, when challenges come up in real life, as they always do, you've already practiced handling them. This is how you develop the black belt mindset. You see, masters have spent years expecting to get punched and kicked, and they've trained how they'll exactly respond to it. Spend 5 minutes simulating that tough conversation. Practice the obstacles. Practice your recovery. Practice staying centered when things don't go perfectly. Your brain learns that you can handle whatever comes up. You don't want to wait for the crisis. The best time to run this protocol is before difficult conversations, not while you're in the thick of it. Think of it like this. It's like putting on your seatbelt before you start driving. That's what keeps you safe. It's not trying to buckle it up after seeing that car coming straight at you. For workplace conflicts, use the protocol in your car right before walking into the building or in the bathroom right before the meeting. For family tensions, run it in your bedroom before dinner or while you're making coffee in the morning. For relationship discussions, use it while your partner is getting ready or during your commute home. Keep in mind, you're not trying to eliminate stress. Success here isn't feeling zero anxiety. That's not realistic, or it's not even helpful. Success is maintaining a steady voice when somebody else raises theirs. It's your heart rate staying manageable instead of spiking to panic levels. It's staying focused on resolution instead of getting pulled into defensiveness. The difference between confidence and aggression in conflict situations comes down to your intention. Confidence seeks understanding and solutions. Aggression seeks to win or dominate. When you're centered in your body and breathing properly, you naturally choose the path that serves the conversation instead of your ego. The reason this works better than motivation or positive thinking under pressure is because you're working with your biology instead of against it. Motivation is an emotion, and emotions are temporary, but your nervous system is trainable. When you give your brain the biological signals that you're safe and capable, it responds accordingly. So here's your challenge. It's simple. Use this protocol before your next difficult conversation. Notice the difference. 2 minutes of 4-4-6 breathing, 3 minutes of anchoring real confidence to your arm, and you pinch. 5 minutes simulating success under pressure. Don't wait for the perfect moment or the biggest conflict. Practice it in smaller conversations first. The grocery store clerk who's having a bad day. The family member who's always trying to push your buttons. The colleague who always questions everything you say. Each time you use this system, you're strengthening those neural pathways. You're teaching your brain that you can stay centered even when other people are losing their minds. That's the kind of confidence that changes everything. You now have a reliable system for confidence under pressure. Practice the 2-3-5 protocol before your next hard conversation and notice the difference. For the complete training system, check out my free course, Silence Your Inner Critic. You can find it in the comments and the URL to it in the comments below. Oh, one last thing, just hit subscribe for more brain boosting hacks that take minutes but change everything. And it's easy and free ways to support us, and you're going to boost your brain power along the way. Until the next time, this is Will Deek wishing you only success. And remember, you can stay centered and handle any conversation when you train your mind to stay focused, calm, and in control.